So today's 3rd of June, trying to finish up um, trying to finish up yesterday's stuff and today's not ended, but I just want to do this and be done and know that I've done. So this was part of yesterday's our play. So let's start. We finished. We wanted to start this. I don't know if we were recording this or not. So as I did start, what did we have before? We had this for us to consider this. We need this to happen. But this happened for its own feed, so we have this. Price came back here. We have to sell this, if not lower. So that was 19 points, but we will make that 20. So we had another 20 points, and for now, sorry. Okay. So we'll delete this. And what was I looking at there? So this big guy, we did this here, and I was thinking, okay, if it peaks and if it's going down. But to be honest, this was just an idea. When I drew this, it was like, if that happened. Of course, it did happen. It gave us maybe here, and it peaked because this happened here, so it will have only peaked here. This was another hour, so and this gives 24 points, and you're not pushing your luck because why? There has been a failure to close this. What's it called? To close this. Actually, Gandalf is here. To close this, so that is not good. And if you are making CSDs and you're sending candles and this is acting like this is you have to close it here. Why? When you have candle formations inside an FPG and prices refusing to close at FPG, worst case you have to be at B here. So that is not a losing trade, or must not lose. What did we have here again? If we delete this, so that was the sell side. You could have sold the type 2, added more, like throw this type 2 here if you believe price was going down because we're in the top of the range. But these are very nice conferences. Take out the previous high within the first 20 minutes. etc. We had a type 1, this needed an OB, so and this type 2 is still high, so this is too low. And then coming into this, nothing happened previously, so this you could buy this, but like I said, it's not going to be worth it. It says nothing. So this instance expansion, we have this OB, and like I said, for me to engage in this, which would have preferred this, right? So in this instance, I played two stuff, so I was like, okay, this expansion, even though this is the OB, all right, fair enough. This guy also, so I look at the both cases. Okay, this is an expansion and the OB touched this, or an expansion that went on and then it had its own OB. This was the OB, this is the end of the expansion, and then this was an expansion through it. And I was like, all right, we'll play both sides. We'll play a situation whereby this is our expansion that we wanted, and this, we usually look at that. So this was a lovely expansion. This was another OB. I was like, all right, this is an expansion through it. If I get a type 2, I would risk it towards this DP level. If it wins, good. If it doesn't, then that would be on me, and that's what we saw here. Of course, this trade won, but because of what I did today, we would not have 72 points. We would have 33 points. It's very intentional. Why? Close above this, made a type 2. I know that price must hit this. It hits close. I do not like this rejection. Maybe I'm on B. I don't know if it came back to B or not. Let's see. Yes, it did. So most likely before it landed. So we have to accept that. So I accept this. So 30 points. Even though in real life I left it here, as this trade was left here intentionally. that I didn't delete this just to show, but that was done. So in this hour, what were we looking for? This was a type 2 instantly, but we need to go up, so we know that this was going to happen. This happens, so it's an expansion. This is a type 2, well, a type 2, type 1, so let's not forget that. So you can sell this, I can sell that, and I'll exit here. So that's 18 points. If you do not sell this, this is a type 2 one. Of course, it's very low. This type 2 is a type 2, so very convincing sell. This, you wait for this, hits it, comes back here. If this loses, we take the loss. If it wins, we'll take the win, because this is, oh, voila, there, 18 points. So we had 8. And that was the trade. And coming down here, this I would buy. Is a type 2 that was rejected, same like we had, I think, EM. Oh, that was a type 1 though. Type 2, type 2, type. So like I said, I've noticed that whenever we're having a lot of type 2s, even if you do not know what price wants to do, so in this instance, let's see. Let's start from here, or even here. 135, type 2, 1 type 2. But let's look at sales. For sales, so we need the bullish one, type 2, type 2, type 2. None of them, okay, only this one confirmed, but we were so above. We have when we had this, so we have to look into sell. So type 2, sell, 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 for sell. Now we are the high sell. So you've been having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type 2s that is indicating sells. Type 1, type 1, and then under type 2, and then we have this whole view of this. So it's like this is a screaming sell. Really, so but we are not selling here because we've not gotten to a place where we want to use it. All of a sudden we have it here, we can trust this. In this instance, what did we have? Type 2, type 2, type 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 type 2s at these lows. I would not be surprised if I start taking, or even if I did sell here. I wouldn't be surprised to have bought here. This comes back here and I'm buying, and this walks out here because that is enough, or even maybe push my luck. It takes me out, but I'll be wary of this guy because we're just we're coming back here. So type 2s to buy. I would not be surprised, but let's say we didn't do it because we wanted something close and we're targeting that this guy could happen here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We finally had an OB. CS did. You have to buy that. You have to. Stop here. You have to. Where are you targeting? This guy is for 10 points for all this, all these ones. Push your luck because you are close to the hour. It can go anywhere. And this, but I would want this. Initially, if I put it here, this would be a situation where I don't have an TP, but I have an SL. Once this closes through, stops, and I want to target this. But we'll target the high because we have this and we have only. Now let's just put 10 because then this was the highest. So you're assuming you've done this. This has, so in that case you're saying that this was the whole before this. It won here 10 points, and this was the whole before this, and this guy, and that's 10. So that should be 20, but we'll just put 10 because why not? And then what happens next? What did we do? We run up. What do we have? This is not something I want to consider. I also didn't confirm this hobby. Instead, we have we had this expansion. First expansion, OB. We then come down and run into it. The only thing that would make me buy is if I was targeting this, but we already hit this now, so I don't want to buy again. And also, there is no rules about it. So, excuse me, please. So, let's still go further. Oh, this is the end of the day. So, I didn't say that. So you're not trading it. It this. I'm not here. And also, I would not have considered this as a type 2 to buy, and you see, didn't confirm until here. Okay, this type 1. Okay, no, you see, didn't give anything, so don't buy until you close above this guy again and expand, and we didn't have an FEG. So this was Monday. We only took 2 losses, and let's see. We have 18 plus 21 plus 40 plus 39 plus 25 plus 24 plus 11 plus 23 plus 20 plus 33 plus 18 plus 10 2. And we have 73. Was a big loss. We're still over 200 points, so it's a good day. If we took everything, of course, we would not take everything, but we could have missed all the losses and taken all the wins. And I'll collapse this. So I'll use this as a cheat code to get out. Bam, bam. This is interesting because this is a very big one, a type 1. This is its OB. So these are when it's dicey because, like I said, you can either consider this and take a type. If there is a type 1 that shows up for a sell, you can sell towards these levels. Sell to buy because this is a deep DD, and this, so price might be heading towards there. And I would also prefer an expansion through this OB. So that is an expansion with an FEG, and then after that, so I'll prefer this, and then after that, form me something to sell, or we'll see how it goes. So today we'll start from 7 o'clock. There are some trades that are left there. There are some that I've deleted that that is not there. But we'll see how some ideas. So at 7, which is New York Open. I think I took this buy. It's not that I think I took it. There was this expansion, right? OB, and where was I buying? Something, or maybe not. Would have sworn that this looks familiar to me. Or maybe not. Let's not bother ourselves with what I did or didn't do. Okay, so we have the sell. Why? So at the start of the hourly, we're looking at what is important, what is there. At these highs, we have this expansion. Right? Oh yes, I remember this bloody trade now. I started it. This sodium. Didn't like this. I was like, okay, I want this. It got here. I was like, I don't like that. It rejected, came back to B, and then I was like, okay, while I was there, I was like, on the feed that I was, this had it. On my book, at this line had it on this place, and I was like, And I believe I moved to B. I took partials. I had taken partials on one position, and it moved back to B. And I was like, you know what? I closed it out at B, or somewhere it tagged me at B. And then it did this, and I was like, all right. I had said if it didn't touch it, next time it touched this. So this It's a trade I'm touching here. So that is 15 points. Oh, and where did I take B stuff was because I didn't like, I don't know, I just felt like price could bounce off on this, so I forgotten how much B how much I took. But that was a trade that I felt in my books. Since it was from previous hour, I'm waiting for this. So let's assume that we didn't take this, or so 15 points. This would be the best case once the CSD happen. But we'll keep it at 10 because you said we're not taking anything that is less than 10. So we only take 10 points from here. And what happened next? Of course, this happened next. And this I also took. This was the trade. This was very interesting, but I will not say why it was. So this was this because, like I said, this was close to the feed. So I felt like, you know what, this already hit it. So OB, this hit this, comes back here, we buy. And my stop was lower actually. Yeah, because I remember there was this FEG there and I put it just there. Yeah, because I remember this trade and I think I entered just a little bit higher. Oh, maybe not here. I don't know, I entered somewhere. I knew it was a little bit high because on my feed it was like 13 points stop. And I wanted this. And I believe I pushed it high, but this is enough. 19 points. So that is done. This is the high. This only confirmed here. All right. If you wanted to sell this, you sell inside there. Oh yeah, because that's the OB. The target would be here. So it's 13 points. And also, so at the end of this, and you see I was tracking this, I was like, okay, this expansion, this is the expansion that touches this again. OB. So I was like, okay, OB. When should I be bearish if we do an expansion below? So type 1, confirm the OB, goes above it, like Erica will say, they are just those ones whereby you just have to buy quickly. Does it come back to the OB, which was here? No. It came back deep here. So my entry, best case scenario will be that I wouldn't use this, and I want something like this and target this and this, but it didn't get deep, so loss. No, not loss, like this is interesting. It's this, comes back here, hits it again. So at the start of a new hour, what are you looking? If you're looking at the whole stuff, but let's say this is above the eye, so let's leave it alone. If it was a loss, I would add it. And then we started 8 o'clock. We had news here. So when I was trading this, I was like, I want everything to be finished. Sorry, please just let me pause this. So, and at this hour, okay, let's delete this. So we have this expansion. This was a very tricky one. This was the OB, nothing happened. OB, I was like, okay. We have this expansion. We have the OB touching this. Let me sell this again. This happened. So this OB validated here. I came here because I saw it late, and the stop was here. Let's just say here because I know that it's supposed to be, I think, 7 because I saw it late. I entered maybe here somewhere here, and it tagged me. There was there was what's it called again, slippage. So let's put it there. But I knew my stop wasn't there, somewhere around there, but it slipped through. Let's say slip here, 19 points. So I was like, okay, fair enough. And then I was like, okay, this expansion. So once again, we had an expansion through it. I was drawing this beforehand. So we had an expansion through this at 8:30. This was equities open. I'd forgotten completely that this was equities open was about to open. Because I was losing faith in the fact that this candle failed to confirm this type 2. So I didn't like this. And then I was like, I wanted to make a decision, and then boom, it just went off. And then what happened? We crashed back. We came down. What was I supposed to do? This is valid again. These are the times where you can take a trade. You can even extend it. The RR is worth it. Why? Because this invalidated. This is open. And then everything that was done in the open, this is just manipulation. Came down. We are not buying again until we close above this guy. Not this guy. This guy. An expansion. So we didn't take that buy. I know that some KX bots maybe somewhere out there or something, I've forgotten. But also I was tracking the 5 minutes here. It was interesting, but it doesn't matter. What did we have? We have a type 2, and when this happened, so I was like, and I'll show you the trade I took. So when this happened, I was like, okay, type 2, I wanted this to happen, and this candle just went up. So I was like, okay, I cannot buy that. We came up here, I saw this, I was like, this is an old type 2, but went back into this. We closed this with an FEG, so above this OB. Okay, I have to pause this. Okay, so, and then I was like, buy this, rejected here. I was a little bit wary. And then this happened. Actually, I bought it, but I was a little bit concerned because I felt like I wasn't following rules. So this is valid, but price could have come down here. So what am I saying in essence? In essence, this was a trade. And I took it because I knew it was a very big stop. It was almost a 1-to-1, almost. So, and then I was like, you know what? Let's close this. This is not valid. If this loses, this is just breaking. This is just annoying. And then this happened. And then I buffed this. And because I was spread, of course, it tagged me up because it was a very interesting trade. And I was like, okay, this is here. I'm going to put my stop just here. Why is this above the FEG, even though it should be down here? Because I first dragged it. I was like, oof, that's much. And I dropped it. I was like, that is 30. If you are closing this, believe me, that's the least of my worries. So just like 1, this was valid, of course. 2, this is a type 2. Before this happens, close this. 1, 2, close this. So give me enough room to breathe so that if this closes, this can happen, but don't close below this because after this, and also this is an OB, we've already confirmed it here. This trade is done. This is not where it's going to lose. The confirmation of this is where it loses. And oh no, I shouldn't get it. So I was like, all right, type 2. Where do I target? I was like, this. And you would see why I cut the other trade there. It is to get there, of course it did. But you would see what happened. And of course, if it was a TPS 30, even though it came back, it still met it. But coming back here, it's like I was like, all right, we entered there. This went up. I didn't like the way it was rejecting this. I was like, come on. Also, there's an old. I was like, okay, I don't want to show already. They're tricking us into it. So I was, but that's what they think. So they are doing this, that is happening. It's like nobody knows what is happening. So just enjoy what your setup is pointing. So in this instance, when price went up, I was like, okay, yes, finally. And then price was coming back. I was like, oof, no. But in this instance, In this case, I was trading my PNL. I really was. And so when price came back here, I was like, okay, I'm going to close a little because I was about to move to SL. As I was moving, this price went deep, but my entry was somewhere here. But imagine that maybe because of 2 points, I was because of the spread CFD stuff. It was there, so I was like, and then it tags it. And while it was tagging, I was like, okay, let me just close half of it. And instantly, the next candle went up, and I was like, Jesus. Yeah, not trusting the setup because of 2 points drawdown. So that was that. And where did I close it? I was like, all right. So because of that, I needed to extend. I was playing my PNL. Of course, this was good, but when I was looking at it, I believe 20 points. I needed 20 points. And then when I closed this, I now needed 40 points or more. And immediately it gave more than 40 points. I was holding. I was like, wait a minute. And I closed somewhere. I closed on this candle. It was more than 40 points. And then I came to chart. I was like, oh, wow. So what do we have? Number 2, we had closed above the D level. What does that mean? At this hour, you want to get in towards this, especially if you're already at this setup. This was my target. So yesterday when I said the last trade that went to eat this, and I was like, okay, you would close at this high, or I could have closed. It was based on what I did today. I was like, all right, there's no point waiting for this. This is more than, I think it gave 50. If I was not wrong, I think I took 50. Because I know that it does. The next candle, I saw this one printing, close the chart, and then I came back to TradingView, and I said it was dumping. So I took, but let's just stick to not 40 because it was definitely more. Let's just take 40 points. So what I'm trying to say is that when this was happening and that's 30 points, if you have 2 positions, you have to close one, and you have B 50, you have to take 50 points, you have to take something off. I'm not saying, but if I'm holding for this is the reasons why I don't like moving to B, because of things like this. This, of course, you'll be saying, okay, don't see as this type 2, but what happens? It did it in one big swoop. So if it had stopped here, from here to here, will have been 33 points. But then it did this. Now you have 9 points. Why am I might as well just leave the trade alone. Also, this would need a retest if it was truly going down. This is the first time we might get this can lose, but I should have taken something up. But in this day, I left it, and that's why, like I said, this is the worst case scenario. But in this instance, I'm putting there because I went for 50, but I'll take 40. And this trade still won, and would see that it got there. And what do we have next? So we had this, like I said, this type 2, price comes back to it. Type 1, okay, we have a type 1 that goes into this OB. That's interesting. I was like, you're selling, but why do I have? Okay, OB stops above here. This was a type 2 for some reasons. Okay, yes, I was just wondering why. This is the last candle we already did the CST, a 2 bar and the CST of it. This, and I was like, 14 points, more than enough. Thank you. Also because this had not closed below, and I was like, and even this had gone down, that's 14 points. So I was like, why did I have that low? And if you targeted this old 2 bar that was here, you could 9 points, you could extend it 24 points. Is a type 2 if you sold here, that is 12 points if you extended it, 26. Type 2 and what was it? So it was very interesting one. So I was like, of course this is the invalidation is here in my mind. It was clear. I was like, okay, let's play inner structure. This was a type 1. So if you're playing the inner one, like I said, double types, you want this. So when this happened, when we are closing above this, okay, give me a type 2 to buy, type 2 to buy, type 2 to buy, nothing. It's interesting that We are always having type 2s when we are about to reverse lots of it. So this was 1, 2, and it went up. Whereas at then, that means I'm trusting my setup. And what is it? Confirming type 2 to sell. So type 2, type 2, type 2, type 2, and then sold. So that was a more conference for, but it was 14 points. This I didn't buy. I was just like, okay, now we have to target this. Don't forget that this was there in my original plan too. Let's see what happened. Of course, like I said, delete. And let's see if it really did that or not. So this was happening. We closed again this. It was not an expansion, it was just a normal close above with this. But then once you're having things like CSD, I wanted to buy this. I was so desperate for it, but I was like, maybe this level, because this happened. So this happened on the last candle to hit this. I was like, a CSD to sell, right? But then I was like, let me follow the rules a little bit. I think that would have been a loss or something. Yes. We went with that. Okay, so because that should have just been an outright CSD, because and also I shouldn't be touching this because it happened on the last candle. That was not a probability. I was like, okay, let's look at what happened. This was very close. This was a type 1. I was very angry. CSD, I wanted to sell. I moved to B on this trade. That's the truth of the matter. It took me out of B. I wasn't, because like I said, it wasn't high priority. And also these two candles on this feed have not hit. That's why this was a sell on this place. It was a small smart sell, but we decided to go. So let's say because of that, we took a 21 point loss because we didn't move to B and you let your ego come. Stop should be above you at least. Yeah. Miming this, and I will have saved you. Let's say that happened, so 24 points. But if it was 24 points, you should have gotten up. But let's add 24 because we lost. We shouldn't, but we are stressing the data, the results. So what was the first time? This was the first one that touched this type 2. Type 2. Let's say this was where, so this is wrong. This entry here is just, the entry here was for this hold one. So because I was like, this was the first expansion. This other expansion also, they both had. So this was the first expansion. And this was his OB. This guy's also OB. So early sell, 10 points. That's valid. 10 points. Also confirms here, returns here, sell. Stop. Is there. This is your invalidation. If you close above this in this hour, we are going up. That is why it is. Close above this, we are going up. CSC this, we are going down. Comes back here, 13 points. If you want, you can put it to 15. Where are you going? There. 15 points. Trade is done. It set up its own. Close this. So if you so care so much, I wanted something below also because of this. But it makes sense that this Gandalf is holding. See how the Gandalf is holding on. Type 2, type 2. I know this, Erika, if you're watching, I know that this one, like I said, I trust the indicator, the way it points it, and I address those. I see these type 2s, both as a type 2 and as a type 1, even though they have an effigy in it, but I just use the indicator without overthinking. Type 2, type 2, type 2, see, primed, type 1 last, type 2, CSD doesn't come too low, but buy if you believe price is going up. Especially considering this Gandalf stuff is holding. So in this instance, this would be, let's say this is a trade, something like quants would take. And this is not bad, 27 points. And this would be my first target that we're expanding above this. I'll put 20 points. Well, I wasn't thinking about that. So. What happens next? We open this hour. This is a type 2, type 1. This is OB. When we opened there, I didn't trade this. I wasn't available. I was in the hospital. So we had previous one. This is a type 2. This is blank. This is not something you should waste your time with. This like I would want this, so proper, like, yeah. But I think market gave that eventually because the market dumped recently. So in this instance, we did nothing. This was also tricky. It was a tricky one also. Again, I believe I took this. We'll see. Because I was like, okay, expansion, this expansion, this expansion is part of this OB, right? It's part of this. So you can take it as a two setups. If you close below this, right? Close below, then expand away above it, and then we'll buy a continue. That means price is going up. If you take this as an expansion, as the expansion that I went into this, which makes sense because this OB did not touch this. This is the expansion, CST sell, and I took this loss. And I know it's gap maker. It tagged me. I didn't push it all the way up. Because on this feed, on TradingView, it's easy to see all of this in real life. I'm just skipping it. And also, I think it was just 10 points. When I see it set up like this, 10 points for almost 30, that is very nice. So I believe I saw 10 points. So it's less than, but let's just put 10 points again. So 10 points, he loses. What did that happen? He expanded with an FEG. Very good. What does that mean? This is our first clear. What does that mean? We are no longer what? We are no longer buying. So we are no longer selling. We want to buy. What do we want? Give me a type 2. It doesn't give a type 2 yet, which is very annoying. No type 2, no type 2, just a type 1. Type 1, CST. You have to buy because your type 2s are continuations, but that doesn't mean that type 1s don't work. That is valid. That's it because we're saying that. Let's see if it works. Just look at that. Beautiful. 22 points. So why did we target that instead of going for this or this? I don't know what it was. It's that I doubted. The one, this already won here. So comes back, two back, comes back. That's just beautiful. This was the trade, 10 points, which was good. Once this CSD happened, we're not happy with it. Of course, our idea is that price will expand away. If price is expanding away, we've already crossed the D line. Then we are saying that the M line, at least we want price to get here. What happened at the last minute? Type 2. So if you are so convinced, which you should be, which I should be, then worst case scenario here, 10 points. I should buy this number 2. I should, but you already had an entry there. So 22, I will not have this 22. So you see, we don't have lots of things, but that's okay. OB, and this was also a silly trade because it was a type 2, this was a type 1 that enters it. CST8, but what are you going to do? This is, if you sell this is just 3 points. I didn't know if it's going to go over, so I didn't want to find out. Well, I hope I did not, because market crashed and I know, okay. Not that it crashed, but like it sold off, so maybe I should have, but I will show you there was a loss here. So what happened? We have this, nothing special. You could sell because we have all these guys that have refused, but I didn't have any basis for them. I wasn't looking at this maybe on the 5 minutes, but it doesn't matter. We're not doing that. So what happened next? I was like, all right, we have this, and then we touch this. So we are type 2, type 2, type 2, type 2. I was like, okay, maybe we want to buy type 1. Okay, this type 2 is a type 2. We've already CS'd this, we've come here, okay. And then I came to the market and I saw it. I was like, okay, these two guys have this. All these guys have this one and they have not paid it out. And I was like, okay, this touch this. So I wasn't engaging in this because we had not touched this. I was like, okay, touch this, close up below this and expand. Then, expand through it with an OB or with an expansion. Of course, this was the OB we expanded then. I wanted this price, got here and tanked and lost. I don't know. I think, of course, I didn't put my stop there. Very sure. Let's find the trade because I believe I have it. There we go. Oh, what did I? Okay, just put it there. Oh, I did. Proud of me. Anyway, so 21 points. These days closing, heading towards B there. So I'm looking too exciting. So that was that. So what's the next thing? We expanded, but then this was the end of the hour. Oh, and this was our analysis that we are looking for. We're looking at previously, and then we can collapse this and see where price is. So expansion, right? This was the expansion that started through this OB. What did we say? Close below this OB and expand. Then give us a type 2. And I was like, all right, if you believe that this was the expansion and you didn't need an OB, what did I say? So then you have to sell the next type 2. Did we have a type 2 sell? Yes. When did that happen? When we were above this. This is not a sell. I do not want my type 2 to happen above my expansion that I'm saying has failed. It has to happen lower. It has to happen lower. So would I buy this this big one? Maybe not, because I'm saying price will go there. When will I have bought this if this had gotten here and then failed? Is this a good buy? Maybe. Maybe, because let's see, for instance, we will buy this. Type 2, type 2, type 2, type 2. So you know what? We'll buy this. Just for, this is how I usually lose money. And what don't you want to see? Actually, you don't want, funny enough, your stop should be down there, but I'm not going to put my stop down there. I do not want that. That is enough. And I'm heading for all these guys. We can buy that. This is just me. It's an experimental stuff. But once it clears all of this, because it can fail inside this ganda, once it clears everything, the market is over. So I shouldn't buy it inside. I should do it without it. I'm trying to do this, what's it called? This leap competition. Now we can truly use that to our advantage. So by keeping risk low, I'll prefer this ones because they're just above that. This is the thing with risk. With that was a big stop. That was a big loss. I think 1 point is, that was 60 points, right? You guys know this better than me. That was 60 times, I think each point is 10 points. It's $10, so I'll have been 600. But with this, the idea is not yet. The idea is the stop should be somewhere here. If you're using this, the stop should be somewhere here, actually, I'll be honest. Somewhere. This is type 2, price can come here. We don't put it at FUG, so you know what? I'll market buy this. If Then I've got my stop. This is the leg that created the FUG. And that is, don't do this. This is not worth it. Actually, this is stupidity. I do not like that. I do not like the fact that I did that. And then I'll target this. I do not like this trade. And this, I'm just showing you an example of the silly things that I did. I do not like this trade. I do not. Especially the fact that we are refusing to confirm this guy and this last two ones. I do not like this trade, but we'll see. This is also how paper trading builds bad habits. But I will have. I'm not saying I will not enter this trade. I'll prefer close above this and then buy. But let's keep analyzing this trade. So we're above it. When do we have to sell again? We have to close above this. Until then, I'm not entertaining any sells. That's it. I'm not entertaining any sells. So that's how I should. This was too. That's the problem with market buys and the spread on them. So if I've lost, even if it closes now, that's 4 points. And it's still not closing. Yeah, we see. I'm not rejecting the 2 bar, and it could just go up or it could just die. If it comes here, I'm going to close this trade at B and then set in the proper limit. And then correct limit. Buy limit should be there. And then watch it on without you. And then set the limit here. And buy. See life. Yeah, I'll trust that. But then we have it here, so that is cool. And I'll move my stop. Yeah, this is the. Not sure we are playing this. So, but if you are playing this, no, that is exposure. Because if I was playing this, then this should be there. So modify. I'm saying that this should be the trade, right? Yes. Shift. So that's the trade because we got a better entry. So yeah, thank you. So today until the end of the day, we stopped at. This is 2 o'clock. We'll just end it here. So one. And what do we have? So today is not the most pretty day. So we have 10 plus 19 plus 13 plus 40 plus 24 plus 15 plus 22, 140. And we had 18 plus 24 plus 10 plus 21. Yeah, okay, so it's not the most crazy trade, especially because of this. Of course, we didn't take this loss, but we added it intentionally because we said that would be the ideal place. So I think those are supposed to be 10, so we have 10 here, and I think this plus 19 trade doesn't matter. Not the best of days, but also we took a lot out of our wins. So that is just again over 70 points, and if this wins, which is looking like it, this is where we'll put it. We have 20 to it. But what is going to make you worried now? We took this low price, can come here So our entry on here has a chance to be picked or not. See, close the trade to follows, and then it's running on the one that will not giving you more. But that's life. I'm just waiting for this. For this point, do I want to move to break even? Is it up to 20 points now? 20 points would be $40. Yeah, so it's more than 20 points now. That's 20. So now this is just an ego trade, and since we know it can come down, yeah. Since we know it can come down, yeah. We are not. This is just giving 20 points, so I would actually add the 20 points. So because if this is my last day of the trade, I'm just closing this because price can get back here. This is a type 2, so I don't want to give 20 points when I'm left with it's worth it because that will be 5 more points, I think. But let's see. Modified. So we got to within 2 points. It's fine. I'm closing that. Gandalf. So 20 points. We are recording that. So 160. We are up by almost just a little bit shy of 100 points. So yesterday you were up by 200 points plus, 100 points today, 300 points. So that's it. And I'm going to close this. So, oh, did I close it? Oh, I just closed the stop. You know what? These are the things. What don't I want? Funny enough, this is in violation because this is OB, this is FEG. So yeah, that's it. This is as ego. This trade I want, if it gets back to 20 points again, I would manually close. This has one. I'm recording it. This is just ego and just to see that I'm also human and this is how I interact with price. And for example, getting the trade, getting a bad entry, and then price going against me. This is beautiful. But what should I have done? Close this and done what? And sell it down. As the trade. Close this. Stops above here. And sell. So let's see if this was not it. We'll put it there. Oh, wrong place. There. I think it's going to close and sell this, I believe. Yeah. So this is going. We'll take this up. Quickly method use a sell. Terrible entry. But we'll see. If this fails, it is what it is. If not, and how many points is that? Well, so that's where it should have been 15 points. So we had done a lot here. If it does, I'll add it. If not, I would add the 17 points to the loss. So I don't know how long it's going to take, and this is already almost 1 hour. So thank you. And of course, maybe you guys are not able to do this because this is edging. So I don't know if course, on the same setup, I'll be able to take it. I'll be able to take similar stuff on similar trade, but then I should put a alert there to make it with it or not. All right. Actually, not bothering myself to come and check the chart.